celebrating and showcasing some of the most amazing people around the world who are doing incredible things to make our world a better place. This is CUTV News. I'm Jim Masters. Thanks for joining us. On today's show, I'm joined by special guest Christine Rose, an extraordinary business and executive coach and founder and owner of Christine Rose Coaching and Consulting. Christine aspires to give back and help others live their best lives. It is her unrelenting passion to share with other women, and even with men, that they don't have to be stuck and they really can shift into a life that is far greater than they could have ever imagined. Having experienced the distress of growing up in an abusive household and navigating demands of changing careers and parenting, Christine's past challenges help her identify with a client's hurdles. But it was when she hired a coach to guide her through the nerve-wracking divorce that she had that she reached a turning point in her life. Christine was so moved by the deep impact of coaching on her life that after she retired at age 53 from a rewarding career, she began to study coaching herself, finding her calling. She spent such a tremendous period of her life feeling powerless. She says hiring a coach helped improve every aspect of her life: relationships, work, health, finances, faith, and self-confidence. According to Christine, coaching is powerful for helping accomplish the impossible and overcome the obstacles that hold us back. Assisting businesswomen to thrive in leadership roles is her forte, and she's pleased when her clients accomplish their dreams and make valuable contributions to society. She's a certified Taylor Protocols CVI coach. Christine offers her clients access to the most accurate, reliable assessment available, helping clients know themselves at the deepest level. Living in alignment with themselves gives them a sense of purpose and meaning, bringing authentic happiness. Her mission is to empower as many women as possible to design and live their best future. It's my pleasure to welcome business and executive coach Christine Rose to CUTV News for this exclusive interview. Christine, welcome to CUTV News. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Jim. It's great to be here.
Excited to have you here. Very fascinated about your life and your career. Tell us a little bit more about your background. I sort of sprinkled the dust a little bit in the introduction, but tell us about your background, where you grew up, and a little bit about yourself.
So I was born and raised in Seattle. I went to Georgetown University and graduated with a degree in business. And I worked in sales for a number of years before I got married and had a family. 2 daughters. They're now adults. And then I re-entered the marketplace in my midlife. I went into a career again back into sales, and it was in an industry related to the commercial real estate industry. So a tough time to re-enter, but I got right back in, and a tough time to be in that industry. So I decided, because of the hours there, that I wanted to transition, and I transitioned to a nonprofit development role. I was the development director for a housing agency in Kirkland, in Washington. And it was really a fabulous opportunity to help people during that time. It was so challenging for them. One thing I realized was that the things that separate those who have and those who have not are things that often we can do something about. And so we didn't just provide a housing solution for people, but we were changing lives. That impacted my choices in retirement. I did decide to retire in my mid-50s and just was ready for a change and really looking forward to it. I study everything I can, so I read a lot on retirement, many books, and really went into it with, what do I want in this phase of my life based on who I am? So I'd hired a coach earlier in my life, and I decided to study coaching.
So what kind of coaching did you hire? Was it a life coach?
Yeah, I hired a life coach, and she helped me with a difficult career and difficult divorce situation that I was in. In my background, I came from an abusive home, and I lived in a home with 3 abusers. And that really put some challenges in my foundation. that I was able to address, throughout my life, but especially as after I retired.
So then did this experience with the coach who was helping and mentoring and guiding and coaching you sort of pique your interest in wanting to become a coach yourself? Was that part of what inspired you to become a coach as well?
Actually it was. The coach that I hired made such a huge impact in my life in such a short period of time that there was not an area of my life that was not better off after having hired the coach. Really, emotionally, physically, mentally,
life-changing,
and just my career, financially,
all of it,
in every way, life was better.
That's
and so,
fantastic.
it was really an impactful experience, and I wanted to understand the magic of coaching. So that's why I decided to study it in my retirement.
So what was that process like? What were the first steps you had to take to learn what it's all about and to go out there and study it and become a master at it?
I did the research on different places that you study coaching, and I chose Coach U, which actually was founded by the godfather of coaching, Thomas Leonard, and it has a long history of training masterful coaches. I graduated from the core coaching program and then from the advanced corporate coaching program. And in that process, I decided that, you have to actually you have to be hired by somebody to graduate. You have to get paying clients in order to graduate from the program. So I started my coaching business in order to graduate from the program.
Really? So
I
that's part of
also
it.
recognize that if I'm going to be providing services for money, I want to offer the gold standard. So the gold standard in coaching certifications is International Coach Federation. So I decided to go ahead and pursue that certification from them as well.
So for those watching who have never experienced a coach and who think perhaps that coaching and consulting and therapy are all the same thing, tell us about the differences.
Coaching is a professional, ongoing relationship that helps a person to create rapid change. It facilitates deep learning, it accelerates change and growth, and it leverages knowledge and growth so that you can use that in the rest of your life and in the organizations that you're in. Coaching is similar to consulting and therapy in the fact that it's an ongoing professional relationship, but it's different because therapy is addressing repairing wounds. It addresses deep emotional issues and relationship issues on helping your life to be better in that way. And consulting is also different because in consulting, you're hiring an expert to tell you what to do. With a coach, you are hiring somebody to facilitate the brilliance in you to come up with your solutions and your agenda.
So now, you're a certified Taylor Protocol CVI TM coach. Explain what that is to our audience.
Yes, Jim. Taylor Protocols is a human capital management firm based in Seattle, and it was started by Lynn Ellsworth Taylor. He was an expert at developing algorithms, and as he advanced in his career, he was called upon to do turnarounds for companies, and he developed algorithms based on his observations and study of what facilitated great turnarounds and how to get the right people in the right seats on the bus, to quote Jim Collins from Good to Great. He developed the core values index assessment to help individuals to determine who they are at their core nature level, at their deepest level, what drives them, what motivates them, and how they learn and how they handle conflict. And he developed this assessment to help place the right people in companies. But it also is a super tool that's useful to help individuals know themselves. I actually took the CVI with the coach that I had hired in the past, and it helped me know myself better than I have ever known myself. It was a really amazing tool.
It really is amazing. And how has your life changed as a result? How do you look at life now through all of that?
I know what I'm here for, and everything I do aligns with that now. And I know what to say no to. And it really helps me to see other people for who they are and what they were designed for as well. And also, the CVI helps you understand what your strategies are for communication, for conflict, for learning. And so I know how to maximize my learning, my communication strategies, more so than I would have if I didn't have this information, for sure.
So how do your clients go about using the CVI? How does it benefit them?
I work with 3 different types of clients. They are women business owners, women who are in careers and seeking to advance, and women who are in transitions. The first thing the CVI does for them is to help them know themselves and help them to see if they're in the right place. And for the business owners, for example, they can use it to help them know who they need to put on their teams to make sure that they're offering the best services to their clients that they can. Because if a piece of the puzzle's missing, you're not able to fully meet the needs of those that you're serving. So it helps business owners know who to hire.
So generally, when you deal with your clients, you hear all kinds of different stories. They're coming from different perspectives, they're coming from different scenarios. What are some of the issues that business owners, women business owners in particular, are dealing with, the issues they're facing, to the point where they seek out help from you, from a coach?
That's a great question, Jim. They come to me because they want growth in their business, or they really just want to recover because they are seeing instability. And it will appear to be a revenue or profitability problem. But there's usually something deeper, because businesses are all run by people. And if there's a problem in the business, there's a good chance that it might be a people problem. So, for example, coaching will morph, and it will become more than just about the structure, the systems, the techniques of improving your business. It'll also be about the skills of the individual on how to get along with different employees, or how to make sure that the people that they've just promoted are ready for that job, or how to stop working 90 hours a week or 80 hours a week and put balance in their life. There could be a number of things that they end up working with.
Do you have an ideal client? Is there somebody who comes to you that, they're all set up, ready to go, or could it really be anybody that you work with?
The one thing I require my clients to have is a commitment to change. And I ask them, on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you to making the changes that you're wanting to make? If they're not an 8 or higher, I won't work with them. Other than that, it's usually, again, women business owners or women in careers, executive women, that I work with, although I will work with a few smart men.
So what if they're fearful? What if the person is fearful? What if they know they want to do this, but they're fearful because they're just maybe a more reserved personality? They don't know how to project or get the point across or explain themselves well. Do you work with them as well to try to help them boost confidence and maybe self-esteem as well?
I do. I have a client that was referred to me by another client who came to me because she was struggling in her relationships with her coworkers. And they said that she was really defensive and couldn't communicate clearly with them. We worked on her confidence, her communication skills, her leadership skills, and her coworkers saw a 180-degree turnaround in her life. So when you bring your fears, what we do is we work on identifying what automatic negative thought patterns you have that may be controlling your life, and we help you take control of your life.
Is there anything different for executive women, issues that they experience, folks who are in high-level positions as well?
Yes, and it depends. Again, they bring their own selves and their personalities and their backgrounds into what they do. One of the challenges executive women face is hitting the glass ceiling of just getting to mid-level and not being able to get higher and not knowing why. So we often are focused on developing executive presence, which is having the gravitas, having that ability to present yourself with confidence, changing how you speak, your inflection, changing how you stand. They will also work on having a really strong career path identified. One of the issues that women have there are they're not sure how to get to the next level or even identify where they want to move, but when they're super clear on where they want to go and they communicate that, they're increasing their chances of getting promoted, and that's what happens with my clients.
Can you share some success stories with us too? I'm sure you have many.
I will. I would really love to tell you, I have one client who was a business owner, and when she came to me, her revenue was, we started working together in July, and her revenue was about 25% of year-to-date goal. And so she was significantly behind. And she wasn't sure what was happening or why. And I noticed at the same time when we spoke about what was happening in her life, she had boundary problems with family. She had some relationships issues that she needed to iron out. We were able to work on her personal issues, and she was able to strengthen her boundaries, to get clear on her relationships, to get clear on her work. And also we identified what was her area of most profitable product that she offered. And she loves to do custom jewelry. Her name is Jeanette Baton. She's with Dynamic Designs Jewelry, and she does the most amazing custom jewelry. And that's where her heart is and where she loves to work. So we worked on helping her to focus her attention on those clients that were that she could serve well and also make a profit from as well. And she's still, she does that and still offers amazing prices. But at the end of the year, her revenue was 95% a goal, but she had her most profitable year in business ever. And the year after, she's on a growth track to significantly increase her revenue and has hired 2 people. She was able to leave her business in the hands of trusted, capable employees who are doing an excellent job for her and travel and take care of family things. So
all a result of your coaching.
Yeah.
So what happened? What was the transformation in her that you saw that allowed her to be able to be confident enough to make those changes and do what she's doing now that's breeding great productivity and success?
So in our coaching, I asked her questions that help her learn and identify what needed to change for her. And she implemented a marketing strategy that she hadn't done. She implemented a product fulfillment strategy, so tracking orders from when they come in to when they go out, so everybody in the company knows what's happening. She's able to be very responsive with her clients in a way she couldn't before, and really focus her energy and attention on what was going to build her life and her business.
That's great, huh? So how does it make you feel when you hear stories like this?
I'm
to
so
know
proud.
That your coaching has helped in such a beautiful way.
It's really gratifying, yes. I'm proud of my clients. I'm their biggest cheerleader, and I will continue to be. And they can count on really unconditional support. And I'm watching them, and I'm seeing potential in them that they maybe can't see in themselves. It's really gratifying.
Absolutely. You help them tap into it and allow it to rise to the surface. And it's an amazing thing. It's a beautiful thing when that happens, right?
Yes.
Now, you also do group coaching as well. So obviously there's differences between individualized coaching and group coaching. Tell us a little bit about the process of group coaching as well.
So in a group, there are 6, I coach groups of 6. And we come together on a certain topic or a group of topics that we will cover. And the clients who come are, again, business owners. We have a group coming up that's on setting your business strategy for the next year, setting your strategic plan. And they will come together on this topic. And there's some learning that's going on, but there's also action that's happening where they're going to create these plans, they're going to create these strategies, and they are going to put teeth to them, and they will use these things in the next year, and they have accountability to make sure that this happens. That's an example of the group coaching. And the other thing that they take away in addition to the coaching is peer relationships. So they're now all getting kind of their board of directors, their group of people that are in their same position, who understand what it is to be a business owner, that they can call on to bounce ideas off with each other for as long as they decide to maintain those relationships.
How long does a group coaching go for? Is there weeks, months, days?
They're usually 3 sessions or 4 sessions, and usually there's time in between the sessions to implement, so it will be like every other week for a period of 6 weeks. That'll be 3 sessions or 4.
You mentioned that you, obviously, you've faced serious challenges in your life as well. How have you been able to take those challenges and turn those into assets, positive assets that you are able to use as a coach yourself?
One of the things that my clients tell me is that they are so comfortable, they can trust me because I'm real with them, because I have been through a lot. In addition to processing trauma in my life, I've been through a divorce. I've been through jumping back into the workplace. I've been through career transitions. I've been through growing a business.
Raising children.
All that. And so I see life and I see the challenges, and I have deep compassion for where people are and understanding. My clients' stories are all about them. It's not about me. But I have this ability to listen and empathize. And my clients tell me that they are so comfortable talking with me that it's a joy to be able to come and work with me. And they know that they've got somebody who is accepting them 100% for them, and going to help them get to where they want to go.
Yeah, their cheerleading section. Also, another part of coaching is the accountability too, right? That's a big part of the process. There has to be taking responsibility and accountability. Tell us about that, the importance of that.
Jim, it's so important. When you are trying to make progress, everybody has set those New Year's resolutions and then, maybe gotten a few months into the year and find themselves not
right.
accomplishing them, right?
It's like 99% of diets fail too.
Right.
Yeah.
But you think about when you really want to make that change, you think about putting structure into your life to support the change. And what a coach does is help you build accountability structure for yourself so that the change is going to happen. And they will deal with you, and they, coaches are very direct and can really help you get to what may be a barrier and how you can overcome those barriers and overcome those obstacles to help you make the changes you want to make.
What do you if you have somebody who they don't always like to hear it back, like have trouble, like you're trying to be direct, you're trying to be informative, but they don't necessarily, they have trouble hearing back the things that they really need to hear back so they can make positive change. How do you work with those folks? Maybe they're coming from a background of pain or just lack of self-esteem, and they have trouble hearing back what you're trying to tell them.
Yeah, you know, questions are really powerful. Masterful coaches have the ability to hear beyond the words that people are telling them, and to understand and to be able to ask really pinpointed questions to help those clients see what they might not be able to see. And that can really bring insight to them, that outside perspective, and can help them to be able to open up and be open to making changes where they might not have been before.
How long would you say is a typical coaching engagement?
I have clients who will work with me, for example, in a group coaching setting where it's 3 sessions. Most of my clients, because change takes time to affect, will work with me from 6 months to a year, and we will reevaluate and decide, you know, whether they need to renew. I have a few clients I've worked with for 3 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, if somebody's watching, what's the process to be able to get to work with you? What do they have to do? Is there any prerequisite? Do they, like you said, they have to be an 8 or 9 or a 10 in terms of passion and desire and really wanting to do it?
Right.
Anything else in terms of taking those next steps to work with you?
I would encourage them to look at my website. I would encourage them to look at the resources page on my website about what typical coaches charge. I would have them check out International Coach Federation. I would have them talk to a couple of other coaches and talk to me. They can set up a complimentary 30-minute strategy session, and I will ask them, you know, what is it you're trying to do? And we will decide whether or not we're a good fit to work together. And then it's just a matter of whether or not they can fit on my schedule, because I coach part-time. So we have to be able to fit them in.
Now, in terms of the coaching availability, you're in Washington State, and do you coach people just in your local area, or can you coach people regardless of where they are?
I have coached people internationally, and I use the Zoom platform. So it's like we're sitting across the desk from each other, but we're on our computer screens, so I get a chance to see their faces, the inflections, what's happening with them, and we get super close, but they can be at any distance.
So what are some of the challenges that you face in your life while coaching others?
You know, there's this myth that you have to be perfect. And so...
Doesn't exist.
Right. What I face is recognizing that I am human and on a growth path like all my clients are. So allowing myself to continue my growth path. Another thing is, I think that there's always the challenge when you're busy with wanting to accommodate and say yes when really it's not a good fit. And so I am very careful to make sure that I'm starting to really align all my choices with what my highest priorities are.
Now, you also keep a gratitude journal as well, and you say that's really helped you in your life. How has it helped you?
I would encourage everyone to take time and write down 5 things they're grateful for every day before they go to bed. And also it can help you start out the day, before you even put your feet on the floor, to start the day by recognizing that it's a gift and just expressing gratitude for a new day and for things that come to mind. It's a discipline that helps to really control and change the direction of your thoughts all your life, and it supports you to maintain positive growth and emotional intelligence. I highly recommend it.
Why do you feel what you've gone through in your life, the struggles that you've had, is actually a plus for your clients, how it helps them?
What I know is that everybody faces struggles, and what I've learned from the things that I have gone through is that when we look at our challenges as learning opportunities, they become the platforms that we serve other people from. So because I know that for myself, I'm able to help my clients overcome, what challenges they face, and to be able to see themselves as a winner at the end, as the champion of their story.
So what are some of the guidelines and techniques that you actually share with your clients?
One thing I request that my clients to do is to take the CVI, and we go over that and help them know themselves. I also use a couple tools to help clients clear the clutter out of their lives and their minds. One is something you can do at home. I mean, anybody can do this, just to write down a list of the things you're tolerating. Just having that list makes you aware, and it makes you start working on them.
How much do you want to bet that list is probably a lot longer than we think it is, the toleration list?
Right?
Probably very long.
And when we shorten our list by taking action, it clears our energy to be more productive and to be able to contribute more.
So does working on that list of toleration also sometimes mean elimination? There are a few things on that list that we're tolerating that, for our own best interest, need to also be moved into that elimination column.
Yeah, the goal of the tolerations list is to, once you're aware of what you're tolerating, stop. So it means if you need to eliminate things from your tolerations list, or if you need to make changes so that you're no longer tolerating them, yeah, we want to have that list as short as possible.
So tell us about the actual programs. How do the actual programs work? If somebody is listening to us or watching this segment right now and they're saying, okay, this sounds terrific, I'm ready to go, I can use it, I'm going through things in my life, but I don't understand at all how this works. What is the best way you can describe how your particular programs work?
If they're looking for a group coaching program, what they would do is go to the website, sign up for the group coaching program, and then I would send them a link. They will get some resources to fill out ahead of time in a particular program, and they will show up at the group coaching program and participate in this conversation that we have and learn from the materials that we go over. If it's individual one-to-one coaching, how that works is once we've done that initial strategy session, I will send them an assessment. I will send them some resources. They will take the CVI, and we'll get to work. And each meeting, they will bring their topic of what it is that they want to focus on. We will have come up with a plan together about exactly what they want to coach on and how long that's going to take. And they will have a plan for each meeting, but they're in charge of what we coach on. And we'll start out with them checking in about maybe what they've done since the week before. We will identify what their goal is and what they're going to accomplish by the end of our coaching session. And we will explore whatever that is in conversation. We will identify barriers or obstacles and how to overcome them. And they will have set a SMART goal or strategic goal, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time sensitive, so that they have an action item and identify what their next step is before we end that meeting. And during the meeting, we check in to make sure we're on target so that by the end of that coaching session, they've accomplished what it was they want to do.
Do you tailor the programs to the individual, to where they're coming from in terms of what their issues are, their personality, or is it a formatic or a little of both? Do you alter it based on where that person is in their life and some of the things they're dealing with?
Right. What doesn't change is the coaching methodology and structure of what is coaching. What changes is how each person works with me one-to-one. In the group sessions even, each group has its own dynamic and its mix. So I'm very responsive to what the client is looking to do and how they work. I'm responsive to their communication style, their learning style, their pace. If they are a fast-paced person, we move at a fast pace. If they need a little more time to process their thoughts, if they're a verbal processor, there's times where I'll need to interrupt them and summarize what they're saying. But I definitely work with individuals, and so the coaching is individualized. In fact, when people are looking for a formula, the formula for success, chances are I'm not the right coach for them, because they are unique, and I work with them as a unique individual, and I see their unique brilliance, and we bring it out.
You know, you've also said yourself that you're a lifelong learner, so you encourage reading, because reading, of course, breeds wisdom as well. Why is it important for people to constantly be soaking a lot of things up and reading and always being a lifelong learner?
Jim, it's so important because we are the people who get to write our stories. So if we are lazy about that, about learning, then our storyline can get kind of lazy. I have recommended reading lists that I put on the resources page of my website, christinerose.coach/resources. And I recommend personal development books. I recommend professional development books and books for business owners. I think the statistic now is of American adults, 24% read one book a year. And we just learn and grow so much.
That's usually a menu.
Your top CEOs they're reading a book a day. They're reading 20 books a month.
Soaking it up.
Right?
Learning.
And if we want to grow, we need to keep learning. It's essential.
So however it is, audiobooks, tutorial, videos, whatever, just soak it all in, right?
Right.
It's really important.
Yes.
So why do you feel, I know we've talked about, you know, the everyday person who might need a coach, but there are some high-powered people, high net worth people, extremely successful people that also use coaches. Even the coach is coached, right? Tell us about the importance of all of that ongoing coaching at all levels.
Ever since I hired a coach, I've had a coach. And I have 2 coaches now. When you think about, you know, who's playing at Wimbledon or who's in the NBA playoffs, every single one of them has a coach. And it's about bringing your level of performance to its best. It's about maximizing your awareness of what you are doing and what you can do better. It's about continual growth. Larry Page of Google says everyone should have a coach. Bill Gates says everybody should have a coach. There's a conundrum. 90% of people would benefit from having a coach, but less than 1% of individuals seek them out. So if you want to be like those top performers, you'll put yourself in that 1% who seeks them out.
So if somebody's watching right now and they want to take that next step and they're really fascinated by all of this and they're like, this is now the time, you know, I've wanted to do this, now I understand what it's all about, I understand the benefits of coaching in my life. No matter who's watching, if they need to take that initial first step. And that initial first step can be risky in their mind. They can be filled with fear because they have to open up their life. They have to reveal. They have to emote. But establishing trust with them and them with you is one of the first things that you do in this entire process, right? And that allows them to feel trusted in a safe place to be able to emote and share their life story with you, and then work on it from there.
Exactly. You know, we spend the first 30 minutes, that initial session, getting to know, you know, kind of who you are and what's going on in your life that you'd like to change. We are not getting deep into emotions that you would want to, I would recommend people to a counselor for, but you know, we all have feelings, and sometimes when we're frustrated about the pace of change, those are going to come out. And we will honor that, and we will, again, move the conversation towards the growth that we want to see take place. So what they would want to do then is just go ahead and reach out and book a 30-minute free strategy session. It doesn't cost anything. This is my gift to them. And we just go ahead and have that conversation and see if that's a good fit for them.
So you really consider yourself more of a business and executive coach versus life coach, yet there is life coaching underneath all of that anyway, right?
Right. Really, the difference is that in a business coaching setting, we're addressing things that we would change that are going to impact the business. And in a career setting, I work with the organization and the individual, and all the stakeholders agree on the changes that we're going to make that that individual will leverage to be more effective in the organization, and it will impact the organization's bottom line and have an ROI for them. And those are the types of clients that I usually work with. I do have a few clients that are going through transitions. Maybe they're going back into the workplace at midlife, and they're experiencing that age discrimination. Maybe they are about ready to retire and really trying to figure out what they want to do with their next chapter. And, I'll work with them. For the most part, though, they're women business owners and executives. Mm-hmm.
How has coaching changed your life?
Oh my gosh. Can I light up now?
Mm-hmm.
Because my life, I pinch myself. I just can't believe how good my life is. I love it. It's just given me a freedom to really be myself, to pursue my dreams, to be of service. And I love every part of my life. It's awesome.
And that exuberance that you have is what you hope your clients end up having, right? And I'm sure, like you've said, you've seen that transition happen from darkness to light, and you help them get there.
Yeah, it is what happens. There's magic in this. It's amazing. So it's amazing, very effective.
Do you have another success story that you could share with us that you can call upon?
Yeah, I have a client who came to me who was a successful co-owner of a mom and pop business. They'd reached $10 million mark and had a merger, and they grew to 20 million. And she, instead of being the mom at the front desk who knew the answers to everything and knew everybody, she now was the vice president of operations for this much bigger organization, and needed to gain confidence for that role, needed to gain communication strategies for that role, to being able to communicate effectively with her executive team, and again, communicate vision company-wide so that they would still be able to serve their clients with the level of service that they were used to providing. And we came up with strategies for her to do that she implemented immediately. Mm. And her company was on the cover of their trade publication for their industry this year. So she really shined in her role. Her husband said, "Who are you?"
Right.
Yeah, so it was really fantastic.
The new me. Yes,
the other
exactly.
thing she wanted was to have a little more balance in her life. And so she made herself accountable for that by scheduling golf lessons at 5 o'clock and forcing herself to leave the office.
So all of these things that you do actually can spill over into people's family lives and the relationships they have with family and friends and other people in their lives. Because if they're happy, in one particular area, sometimes, they feel confident and there's this new energy and exuberance like you're sharing with us. That can translate into a full circle situation, right, for people?
It does. I'm not a weight loss coach, but I can't tell you how many of my clients lose 10 or 15 or 20 pounds while they're coaching with me, because they start to develop this self-confidence, this discipline, and this recognition that they are much more powerful than they ever knew they were.
What would be something that you would leave with somebody right now watching who maybe they're going through something a little rough? There's a rough patch, and you've been through, so something that you could say that's maybe a bit of wisdom or hopeful, positive advice.
Oftentimes when we're going through things, we we are clouded and we cannot see the power to change our circumstances. We can't see the power that we have over our minds and our ability to direct our paths. And I just would encourage them that this is, if they're ready for a change, this is the time to take action. Yeah.
This is the time.
And that what they see now as an impossible situation, one day they will see as the foundation of growth that they experience that allows them to be of service to other people.
And you help them get there. What do you think sets you apart? There are so many people out there that are doing coaching and various things of that nature. What is it about your approach that is unique and different, Christine Rose?
My clients tell me that they've worked with other coaches before me who have thrown a bunch of forms at them, thrown a bunch of paperwork for them to fill out, assessments and surveys that they never used, that they didn't see changes, that they spent a whole bunch of time and money with these people and nothing really changed. And when they've come to work with me, because I am deeply concerned about them and what they want to accomplish, and I'm very focused on them individually, we get down to not only what they want to change, but their way of making sure that change happens. And so when we're done coaching, they are seeing results that they didn't get to see from the other coaches that they've worked with.
That's the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
You love this work, don't you? Brings you great joy.
Yeah, it is my passion. This is my calling.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's amazing. It's amazing when you find your calling, right? And you can live it and you can share it and inspire and impact others in such a positive way like you're doing.
And you do?
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one after the other. I think when people do that, you have to live, who you are, your authentic self. You have to live your purpose and your passion. And sometimes it takes a while for people to find out what that is.
Right.
Or to tap into it. But then when it's there, you'll feel it and you'll know it.
Yeah.
And you'll want to share it with the world.
That CVI helps. Really does, for people who are struggling with how to identify this and tap into it.
Because I think a lot of people right now are struggling. They're looking for a sense of self and purpose and mission because, there's a lot of outside influences that tell us who we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to wear and what we're supposed to eat and who we're supposed to emulate. And then you look in the mirror and you're like, well, who is the person then that I'm seeing reflecting back at me? So I think when you have these opportunities to work with you and folks like yourself and be able to tap into the real authentic self, when that rises, it's an incredible thing. It's powerful.
Well, and it's not only powerful for the individual, it's powerful for the world. Because if everyone brings the whole of who they are into what we're doing, so many people are at work and are not engaged. Imagine being engaged. So many people are not engaged in their relationships and they're just getting by. And it would just be so powerful if everyone were able to live fully their best future. And that's my goal for my clients, is that they would purposefully get out of default mode and design and create their best future.
And people are attracted to that energy too. They love positive energy. So there is that law of attraction. And when you're putting out that positive energy, it attracts people to you.
Well, I'm attracted to people who are ready to make those changes too. So we're finding each other. And, maybe somebody who's watching is going to be one of those people.
Absolutely. Christine Rose, it was a real honor and pleasure to have you with us. Thanks for sharing your story with us, your personal story, as well as your wonderful career as a coach. And we're so happy to hear that you've got so many wonderful people that you're working with daily whose lives are changing for the better. It's really a life-changing experience. And you're so skilled and you're so good at it, and it's a pleasure to have you here sharing it with us. And we hope our audience will connect with you and experience Christine Rose and everything that she has to offer. So it was a pleasure, and we thank you for being on CUTV News.
Thank you so much, Jim. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Christine truly believes everyone can co-create their best future and can absolutely write a triumphant ending to their stories. Through her efforts and her passion, Christine Rose is making our world a better place. To learn more about our special guest, Christine Rose, her services, and how she might be able to help you or someone you know, visit her website, christinerose.coach. For CUTV News, I'm Jim Masters. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.